So there's new info on Onision, and it's actually not too new. It's about a day old. Normally I would have got out to you faster, but this shit genuinely disturbed me to the point where it was hard for me to make this video because he let his 2-year-old daughter walk out of a 2-story window and fall directly onto concrete. And his actions surrounding this incident is not one of a father who is concerned about their daughter's health after being... You hear that? I hope those police are after Onision. Unfortunately, I don't live that close to Onision, so they're not actually, but that's what should happen with Onision. Either way, this is fucking insane. Okay, so there was a police report that came out detailing this entire thing. I'm gonna read it out to you guys and then we're gonna talk about it. On September 12th, 2019 at around 19:08 hours, Deputy Mancuso and I responded to a medical aid call where a 2-year-old had fallen from a 2-story window. I remembered the location because I had done a welfare check with Child Protective Services about 10 days prior. CPS informed me on the incident where James Jackson had been communicating with minors and was possibly sexually abusing young girls. In this incident, there was no evidence or information that would allow me to place his 5-year-old son into CPS custody. Upon arrival, I saw the ambulance leaving the scene with a black sedan following behind it. I recognized the driver of the sedan as James and saw his daughter in the back seat. I contacted the remaining firefighters on scene who informed me his daughter was on her way in the ambulance to Mary Bridge Children's Hospital, and her mother, Kai Jackson, was in the ambulance with her. The firefighters informed me they did not get much information from Kai or James yet, other than she had fallen from the window. They informed me when they arrived, Kai was hovering over her daughter who was laying on the side underneath the window on the left southwest corner of the house in front of the garage. They said she was lying partially on the screen which was on the ground as well. I noticed the window on the far left side of the house was slit open, and beneath it lay the screen. I did not notice any blood or other markings that would show where the daughter hit the ground. Deputy Mancuso photographed the exterior of the residence and later transferred them to case images. I contacted Sergeant Nicodemus and advised him of the incident, and he instructed me to contact Detective Moss regarding the incident. I contacted Detective Moss, who instructed me to meet her at Mary Bridge Medical Hospital to interview Kai and James. I assisted Detective Moss at Mary Bridge as she interviewed Kai and James. There was no evidence collected. There is nothing further. On September 12, 2019 at approximately 19:25 hours, I received a phone call from Deputy Gratt regarding an incident that occurred at Redacted. Deputy Gratt explained that James Jackson called 911 and reported that his 2-year-old daughter had fallen from a 2nd-story window by pushing the screen out. Deputy Gratt said that he had been out to the residence before to assist Child Protective Services in checking the children due to concerns that James ran a YouTube channel with content about child molestation. Deputy Gratt said that the daughter was being transported to Mary Bridge via ambulance. I met Deputy Gratt at Mary Bridge Children's Hospital. The daughter had been brought into a CT scan immediately upon her arrival. Lieutenant Johnson said that when he arrived on the scene, Kai Johnson was with the daughter. Lieutenant Johnson said that the daughter was on the cement driveway directly underneath an open window laying on her side. He said that there was a window screen partially underneath the daughter, which was broken in the corner. Lieutenant Johnson said that the fall was not witnessed, and he was told that Kai was in the kitchen making dinner and James was in the garage. Lieutenant Johnson said that James said he heard tapping on the outside of the garage, and when he went to investigate, he saw that his daughter had fallen. I spoke privately with Kai. Kai agreed to be audio recorded during our conversation. We got interrupted during the conversation by medical staff, so my conversation with Kai is documented in 2 separate recordings. The following is a summary of our conversation. James said that he was in the garage on his computer. He explained that he works from home. James said he heard what sounded like a deep voice and tapping on the exterior of the garage. James said he thought it was his son who was outside. James said his son was not supposed to be outside, so he went upstairs so he could go outside to see why his son was out there. James said when he got part of the way up the stairs, he could see that his son was in the living room playing a video game. James said he went out of the front door and saw his daughter laying on the driveway near the garage. He said he yelled for Kai to call an ambulance and then spoke with 911 on the phone. James said that while he was waiting for the ambulance, he took a video showing the window down to the cement where his daughter was lying. I asked James why he took the video. James said he wanted to be able to show the doctor exactly where she had fallen and expressed concern that she had hit landscaping rocks which were right next to the driveway. He also said he thought about needing to show the police what happened and spoke about an incident in 2011 when a friend threatened to kill herself and make it look like he was responsible. So he took a video of himself calling 911 so he could show the police he was not responsible. James's explanation for why he took a video seemed strange to me. James said that his daughter is an active child, and said that in the past, she had climbed up and stood on tables. He said she stood on windowsills in their front room, and they make sure to keep the windows closed and locked. James showed me the video he had taken of his daughter. It was a 1-second video which showed his daughter on the ground with Kai next to her, and then panned up to show the open window. I spoke with Dr. Manji. He said that the daughter had multiple skull fractures. He said she had a subglenal hematoma. He said that she had small subdural hematomas. He said that there was some bleeding and bruising her brain, but that it was not enough to require immediate surgery. I asked him if the injuries were life-threatening, and he explained at this point they weren't, but that due to the nature of the injuries, the daughter would need to be carefully monitored because the situation could quickly change, and the injuries could become life-threatening. He explained that the skull fracture on the right side of her head was depressed and pushing into her brain. Dr. Manji said that the injuries were consistent with a fall from a second-story window. Deputy Gratt told me that James showed him Ring doorbell video. James handed me his phone and showed me the videos. The Ring video did not capture the daughter's fall. It pointed in the opposite direction. But it did show when James came outside and saw her on the ground. James walks out on the porch and looks in the direction of the garage. James runs towards her and screams to Kai to call an ambulance. Kai comes out onto the porch and screams, then runs over to the daughter. James sent me 3 videos which capture James going into the house to get a towel and talking on the phone with 911. James emailed me copies of the videos. I asked Kai and James if I could go to their home and take some photographs. They both agreed. I explained why they did not have to allow me to go into their home and take pictures, and that they could change their minds and tell me to stop. I gave James my work cell phone number and told him to call me if he did not want me to take pictures. Kai asked me to check to make sure the stove was off and also asked if I could let their dogs in from the back porch when I left. James provided me with the code to get in the front door. Forensics Officer Anderson and I responded to the resident. Deputy Mancuso was on the scene and said nobody had gone inside. I observed a partially open window above the garage and the screen laying on the ground on the driveway underneath the window. The corner of the screen was broken. I also saw a children's plastic spoon and a flattened Capri Sun on the ground near the screen. Forensics Officer Anderson measured the height from the driveway to the window. The height was 149 inches. Forensics Officer Anderson photographed the scene. We went inside the residence. The home is a split-level home. We went upstairs and down a hallway to the left of us. The TV was on, the window was partially open, there was a twin-size bed, the headboard of the bed was several inches thick on the top, thick enough to be climbed on. The headboard and the windowsill overlapped, so it would have been possible for the daughter to climb from the bed onto the headboard and then get onto the windowsill. And that is about it for the police report on this situation. Holy shit, there's a lot to get into, but before we get into that, some people on Twitter were able to dig up what Onision was doing during this time where his daughter was in the hospital. And it does not look good, my friends. It does not look good at all. Big Money tweets out, just a reminder, this is the kind of gross shit Onision was tweeting while at the hospital with his daughter. So let's check out what the fuck he was tweeting while his daughter was writhing in pain from falling out of a window due to his bad parenting. He was tweeting out, "I want to ride you unprotected. I want to see your eyes quiver as you realize I just made you a mommy. I know you don't talk to me expecting I'll listen. We both know I never do. The real reason you open your mouth towards me so often is in the hopes that at least once you'll catch my cum. So keep pretending you mean anything you say. I'm almost there, my little slut. Don't be upset with anyone who trash talks me. I'd be pissed too if I wasn't allowed to fuck me. Please swish a cube of ice around your mouth before you put it in me again. Your spicy tongue is making me throb. Thanks, babe. You got a lot of spicy things to say about me with that mouth of yours. Wish you'd drop to your knees and show me what your tongue can really do." I don't even want to read anymore. I don't even want to read anymore. This is what he was tweeting out while his daughter was... What? Why? Why would that even be on your mind? How? I just don't understand in the slightest how your mind could be in this place during that time. What the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck? Whomstances responds to Big Money's tweet by saying, "It didn't even occur for him to empathize with his daughter. And he just continued, business as usual, like nothing happened. There's no indication between time gaps of a family emergency even. His daughter getting injured and in ER is just another night shitposting on Twitter." Leximu says, Your daughter falls out of a window, which results in a brain bleed, and instead of comforting your injured 3-year-old, you record her and then tweet these things at the hospital. I hope she never knows the monster you truly are. I hope she's saved before she gets the chance. I 100% agree. Normally, I wouldn't advocate for YouTubers to have their children taken away even if they've done horrible things, because I don't really think their horrible behavior is necessarily indicative of how good of a parent they are. But with cases like Daddy05 and Onision, 100% get those kids out of the home as fast as possible. How the fuck can you be a human being, see a child injured in that way, and have the type of responses that Onision does? Not to mention the fact that he's the father. Even if it was like a random kid that you had no relation to or didn't know whatsoever, how the fuck, as a human being, could you respond in the way that Onision did? Not to mention the fact that Onision's the actual father, so his response should have shown more concern than the typical passerby who would have seen this suffering child. But not only does he not have the response of a typical father, he doesn't have the response of a typical human being. Jesus fucking Christ. Who sees their daughter in pain from falling out of the window and the first response they have is, hey, let me record this so I don't get accused of pushing my daughter out the window because something similar happened 8 years ago. Shut the fuck up and attend to your daughter. Like, what? I'm baffled. Let's continue reading. So Repsion says, protect children, they are our future. If you put children in harm's way or don't even take the proper precautions to make sure your child is safe, you are a terrible parent. Child locks. They exist. Use them. Someone then responds, huh? I grew up unprotected, and I feel all the better about it. Letting me live my life, understand the rights and wrongs. Protecting children doesn't help them. It hinders them. You want to create a bunch of weak children who need their parents to take care of them? Then Repsion replies, what the hell are you talking about? There's a difference between repressing/hiding your kid from everything to the point where it stuns them, versus putting a child lock on your window so they don't get a skull fracture from a 12 feet fall. Jay Aubrey says, for those of you who are unaware, Onision's daughter fell out of a 2-story window on September 12th, cracking her head open. Greg then filmed the aftermath to prove to police it was an accident. He had the gall to post a series of sexual tweets over the coming days, namely this one, where he says, stand in front of the window over there. The world should see how pathetic and helpless you are. I'm going to humiliate you, and right before you lose consciousness, I'm going to destroy you. Now, not only is that tweet extremely weird and inappropriate for the time he's posting it, he also references standing in front of a window. Huh. Chris Hansen then posted this video in response to the situation.
As you know, Onision, aka Gregory Jackson, aka James Jackson, has filed for a court personal protection order against a YouTube streamer named Repsion and me. This in Washington State. It appears now, though, according to our investigation, the greatest danger to Onision's family may be within that home, not from a YouTube streamer or a curious reporter who came knocking on his door a week or so ago. We've now obtained Pierce County Sheriff's Department reports about a 911 call in September of 2019. According to the transcripts, Onision and Kai's young daughter fell from a second-story bedroom window, landing in the driveway. Now, no one wants to see a child injured, especially me, who spent much of his career protecting children. But it highlights some very disturbing questions about what's been going on inside that home. So now we understand from the report that both Greg, Onision, James, and Kai were interviewed. One investigator noted that it was, quote, strange that Onision actually took video of the child suffering in the driveway, then panned up to the window from where that child apparently fell. There are many other strange things about this report and Onision's behavior. We'll be digging into all of those, and attorney Mike Morse and I will have much more later in the week. So stay tuned.
Onision Unprivated says, now that his criminal child negligence has become public knowledge, Chris has done another deep wipe of his Twitter. These 4 tweets are all that's left of the past 6 months. Stay scared, you piece of shit. Aldi says, Don't forget, Greg made this video mocking Kai for trying to talk to him about Greg ignoring his baby daughter, who was about 1.5 years old at the time. Maybe he should have paid more attention. Greg's whole career is rewriting instances of his life where he's always right and morally superior, and anyone who disagrees with him is wrong and insane/evil. Never trust someone who jerks themselves off this much. Here's the video she's talking about.
Oh, after all these days of work, we could finally just relax and spend time together. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Just gotta finish setting this up, then we're good to go.
I really wish you'd treat my sister's kids equally.
Ugh, I really don't want to talk about this.
Just because one actually talks to you and the other has snot all over their face all the time and screams a lot doesn't mean you can talk to one more than the other.
I don't want to talk about
Yes,
this.
but if one says stuff to you, that doesn't mean that they deserve any more attention than someone who just says gaga gaga all the time.
Yeah, I just want to have a relaxing night and not do this.
We need to talk about this. It's a big deal.
Yeah, no, actually it's not. When the other one can talk, yeah, well, but you know what? I'm not talking about this.
No, I want to talk about this right now.
Alright, you know what? Stop talking to me entirely. No talking.
I can't even believe you. You won't address this incredibly important topic.
Seriously? We're supposed to be relaxing, and you're making an issue over literally nothing.
Those kids are not nothing. I can't believe you would literally say that those kids are worthless.
Leave me alone.
How do you dare call yourself an uncle?
Alright, you know what? Enjoy the night alone. I'm going downstairs because you can't be drama-free for 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, so typical of you.
Oh, you are such a
Oh, now you're calling me names? Wow.
Dude, it was supposed to be a totally relaxing night, and you're being a f***ing
No, it's totally fine. I'm a cunt, okay?
Oh, enjoy being alone. Bye.
Yeah, just walk away. Abandon me.
Jesus Christ!
The original caption she gave to this video was, "Did Greg think people would sympathize with his behavior here?" He ridiculed and dismissed Kai's valid concerns by making him look as irrational as possible in this comedy sketch, and then belittles and demeans him. This abuse is normalized with them. And the convert thread of leaving Kai in the title, quote, "How to lose your husband in under 2 minutes." And he ridicules and dismisses his own daughter by saying she's not worth talking to because she has snot on her nose and can't talk yet. You know, like a normal baby. And he posts this online to humiliate Kai. And he's yelling loud enough that there's no way that everyone can't hear him in their small house. Jesus fucking Christ. Onision is a straight up monster. I hope his children get taken away by Child Protective Services, honestly. Don't wish this on many people, but Onision is someone I definitely wish that upon. Jesus fucking Christ. I cannot imagine treating a child like that as a normal human being, let alone a fucking father of that child. Man, this shit's fucked. Either way, that's about it for the video. Gonna keep updating you guys on Onision stuff, so be sure to stay subscribed. Thank you so much to my channel members for supporting the channel, and with all that being said, I will see you in another video, hopefully where Onision is not abusing children, although I doubt it, knowing his behavior. See you guys then.